Continuing with the Proverbs from chapter 11, verse 13. A talebearer reveals secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit conceals the matter. So I think this is very important thing if you really want to have close friends, because if somebody says some information, they'll reveal something. Usually because they entrusted you, maybe sometimes they like just need to share something to somebody, and if you reveal personal information, then you can break the trust with individuals. So and it's important if it's something that is really like personal issue. You really need to know that it's important not to reveal those things. And I think it's a constant struggle with that, because if you see that for instance, I'm doing lots of now recordings, and in general I do teach and share ideas through stories, through certain things. So I need to be very careful not to use examples that it's sort of like a secret. If it's something that the person doesn't know the person, and you see that there's no chance that the person would find out about. So, and then you don't use the names at all. If you don't use the names and you just use like, okay, I have a friend, or I know a person, and you know that this specific person who hears the example has no relation, or in any possible way most likely won't have any relation to the person you're speaking, so that they won't be tracing back in any way to the individual. So maybe in this kind of way you could use some kind of example. But if you see that it would hurt the other person's character or the person's name, and that person would be able to trace back even if you wouldn't use the name, then it's better not to share any kind of personal information, even though it would feel that it fits in the conversation or in the situation, because you don't want to destroy any friendships, and keep the good name for yourself and for the others. And I think that anybody who has like a more extroverted and tend to speak more has a struggle in this area. And that's why it's important to really learn not to tell personal information and things. So, and it says talebearer reveals secrets. So I definitely had a struggle in that area in the past, and still I catch myself from time to time that, hey, I probably shouldn't say this, and I pray and thank God I'm learning more and more to keep my mouth shut when I should keep it shut. So different people have different issues, but that's definitely was one of my things that I have to overcome, and not to use examples that might damage somebody else, even though it seems that would make a point, or make a good teaching point. So in that sense, I really learning to be more cautious in that area, and that I would be like this faithful person, faithful friend, that to conceal the matter and not to bring it up anymore, especially if it's something sensitive and people who in concern might hear, and it will turn and back, like bite them in any way. So that's very important, not to reveal secrets to the wrong people in the wrong way, and definitely not use the names. That's important. There's no where is no counsel is, the people fall, but in a multitude of counselors there is safety. And this is sounds like a common sense, but like I heard many times somebody says that common sense is not so common anymore. So in a sense that many times when we want to do something and we're not sure, it's always good to ask some trusted people whom like you trust, and you know that they have a good sort of like common sense, some maybe experience, and ask multiple people and to make a kind of bigger picture if it's some important decision. And when when you hear multiple opinions, you can get a fuller picture. And actually, when I share certain situations that I was thinking to do, actually I got a counsel and I got completely new perspective. I never even thought possible to think from that way, and actually it saved me so much trouble. And it really costs like a safe zone, like a third option that I didn't knew existed or didn't thought even of it was available, that solved the whole problem. There was a some specific situation that I don't feel freedom to reveal, but it definitely saved me lots of problems. And that can happen to anybody, that just by speaking to some friend or some elder. In this case, I spoke to one older, like a minister, and it really spoke some sense into me. And I didn't necessarily follow through with whatever he said, but definitely it opened new perspective, that another option opened up to me. So it definitely helped me a lot. Verse 15, he that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hates suretiship is sure. So, for instance, if in this verse it says, "Do not strike hands with the people that you don't know," because like don't promise things to the people that you don't completely sure, because you're gonna suffer for it. But if you don't do it, if you hate it, hey, this is wrong. You don't just promise to the people whatever just because to please them. Just say no. And then basically still learning to say no to other people's ideas. If you see that, hey, this might be suspicious, you cannot necessarily trust the situation, and not to please whomever comes along just because you want to be nice. And that causes surety, that you will have a sure path. But if you want to please people, especially not really know, in here called stranger, but somebody that you don't really know their character, either what they would do with it, doesn't matter how good it sounds. If you don't know them, usually it's not, you won't have a sure way of doing things, and you never know when the trouble can come if you strike hands in terms of make some kind of promises. So it's important not to do that. Verse 16, a gracious woman retains honor, and a strong man retain riches. So I think that for a woman to retain honor, it means that she keeps her dignity and doesn't go around doing wrong things, sleep around and flirt or whatever. And that is a woman's honor. I believe that's what it means here. And that they're faithful and they don't play around in any wrong way. And for a strong man retain riches. So I think that in order to retain riches, so it means that others, whenever you have something, people will come after it in one way or the other. And you need to know, whether it's a right thing to give or to borrow, to lend or not. Is it somebody coming actually with the wrong intentions to steal? And usually it requires strength to discern and say no if you see that it's wrong. So that's why it says the strong man retain riches. So it requires strength to discern and to do the right decision and to say no when the no needs to be said. Verse 17, the merciful man does good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubles his own flesh. So it says, like what you sow, that's what you reap. So when you show mercy, you will be shown mercy too. So it's definitely gonna be good to your soul. And the thing is that it feels good, and it's when you show mercy, others also give you grace, and you can know, sometimes you can feel that when you done something merciful and you showed mercy, that this person's attitude becomes favorable towards you, and you feel that they will show mercy to you as well. But if you do some cruel things, then their attitude turns also cruelty towards you, and that troubles flesh quite badly. It stirs up things, and you feel like eaten up inside one way or the other. There is no rest, there is no peace when that happens. And many times it can cause different kind of falls or falters, break in relationships, and of course it troubles the flesh. So it's important to show mercy. Of course it's important to be firm, but also to be merciful. like in the previous one of the previous teachings, we talked about truth and mercy. So it's important to be truthful, but also to be merciful. So and that definitely gives it's doing good to your own soul. So do good to your own soul when you speak the truth. Also show the mercy. And that's what I want to share with you today. And God bless you.